So this one, and I'll say this: there's maybe still innocent. All right,
They're gonna go. We're gonna
this is
get
actually
all the force vote people in chat. Watch. It's gonna
this
happen.
is this is this is this is this is right by you, right? The Bonhomme fire.
Yes. So
For real though, like
it's the
okay,
all right. This is
he
the
was
USS
let him free.
Bonhomme Richard. It's USS Bonnie Dick, as we call it in the Navy. It was burning like a mile away from me for like 4 days. I had to get a fucking air filtration system put in because it was so bad. It was like putting chemicals in the air, and I was like, oh, they're gonna have to scrap that shit.
Yeah,
And sure enough, they had to scrap that shit.
yeah, they did.
I have a lot to say about the amphibious Navy. So do you, I'm sure.
This fucking fireman, indeed. So, 20-year-old sailor with a grudge against the Navy, failed attempt at becoming a Navy SEAL under his belt, accused of setting an amphibious assault ship ablaze, single-handedly costing the Navy $30 million in damage. So,
Yes, this time last year, July 12th, 2020.
yeah. So,
Everyone was
yeah.
stuck home. We couldn't even go anywhere, and it's like, fuck it.
The fire raged through the 14-deck
like
ship
chemicals.
after beginning in a cargo hold with a temperature on board exceeding 1,000 degrees at times. The fire aboard the Bonhomme Richard, Bonnie Dick.
Bonhomme Richard. And Bonnie Dick is fine.
Is it Bonhomme Richard? Is Richard? Not yeah. Richard? Richard.
It's Bonnie
Richard.
Dick.
Bonnie Dick.
Bonnie Dick. The old Bonnie Dick. It was an old fucking ship. And amphibious Navy's worthless anyways, but here we go.
Just waiting on a $250 million upgrade at the time. Oh. Finally tamed by some 400 sailors from 16 vessels, helicopters dumping water on the flames, Naval Base San Diego Fire Department, numerous civilian fire departments around the areas. Yeah, this thing was like, I remember like talking to you about it, and I think actually I remember like you just could show the video and like see the smoke in the air coming from like in the background.
I still have videos from that time. I'll post them on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, I was like watching that fucking stuff. I live like, if you go to the right of this picture, about a mile of that, that's where I live.
So every deck above the waterline was damaged, although no deaths or serious injuries reported. 71 people were hurt or treated for smoke inhalation. At least 18 firefighters filed workers' comp. So Mays was identified by NCIS investigators after they interviewed some 177 sailors. One reported that they'd seen a light-skinned male in clean coveralls and a face mask carrying a metal bucket into the lower V, the ship's aft section, or ass section. Thank you, Trevor, Tennessee, and Saturday Night Silky. Let's fucking go.
Oh, yeah.
So, clean coveralls, a face mask carrying a metal bucket into the lower V of the ship's aft section. Didn't recognize the person in question. Well, he had a mask on. I know
you're hoping and praying that maybe we'll have another war, but it ain't happening.
Yes, went into an aft hole.
Yes. But later the sailor named in the search warrant affidavit as Kenji Vlesko did mention a sailor named Mays that hates the U.S. Navy and the fleet. So, like, this is the thing is, like, no one actually saw this dude. They're just like, oh, hey, he was a shitbag. He hated the Navy. And so obviously it was him. And I think they were just jealous that he was so fucking ripped. That's what's going on here.
Dude's super ripped.
They were just jealous. And like, that's the thing too, is like, these are like the original, these are the OG Silkies.
Yeah, those are Silkies. Yeah, when it says he hated the Navy too, I don't know what that really means. Like, did he hate it because it's like imperialist and it's part of this massive war machine, or did he hate it because like it sucks? Because being in the Navy kind of does suck.
Well, they go on this.
There's a difference.
They go on the story and talk about how he was mad that he didn't get into the SEALs. You know, apparently he tried out the Navy SEALs. Yeah, so changed his career goals to become a Navy SEAL. 5 days after beginning SEAL training, Mays dropped out and was reassigned to the Bonhomme Richard as an undesignated seaman.
Do you know what that is?
What,
By
undesignated
chance?
seaman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Do you know what
yeah.
that is?
Well, so like the Navy's fucked, man. I heard about this shit. It's crazy. They're just like,
So you
oh,
want me
hey,
to kind of go over it real fast?
from what my understanding, it's like, hey, you're in the Navy now. Like, we're just gonna send you to a ship, and then like whatever they got for you, they got for you.
Yeah. So basically, instead of like MOSs in the Navy, they're called rates, and it's basically like aviation
Choose your rate, choose your
coordinates
fate.
technician, or like choose your rate, choose your fate. I was an information systems technician, so I did like comms and IT work.
Nerd.
In boot camp, they offered an opportunity to me to go to the the fucking Constitution in Boston, because they actually have like real active duty sailors working on the Constitution, right?
Like the
But
old
the
wooden
trade-off
ship.
was, yeah, the old wooden ship, right? So I thought that would have been a cool opportunity at 18. I was like, oh, I could go live in Boston, work on this ship, not working like a traditional Navy shit. But the trade-off was going undesignated seaman. And what happens with undesignated seaman, you are needs of the Navy. You get sent to wherever they need you, and you are a deckhand. You are literally just like, you're the person who does all the lines, like the ropes they throw out and shit, and like you're the person painting the ship every time it pulls into port. You're the person cleaning everything. Your job sucks. You're not even like, you don't have a rate, and then you're supposed to like study and strike. It's called striking into a rate. So you have to pick a rate that might be open for manning, and then you pick it, and then you could go, but oftentimes you don't actually get the rate you want. So you're really just like not able to do anything. Yeah.
Here's the USS Constitution. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This was stolen from the Nazis? Right?
What? Oh, isn't that like the...
There's like where's one of these ships, and like I don't know, like so it might be a different one. There's like, because I went on one that the Coast Guard sails around. But they like literally took a fucking ship from the Nazis and fucking like repurposed it. The Eagle. That's it. Rose Ronan. Yeah. Rose Ronan knows what's up. Yes, the USS Eagle. I went on that. I wrote on that for when I was.
Yeah, dude, this was 1797 is when this was built. It's Old Ironsides. It's like a famous historical U.S. ship. But like the fact that it's still around and it takes like Navy manning, like you complain about Navy manning, and then you have shit like this where you send sailors to sit on and look pretty and wear the old timey uniforms.
Is it
like
nuclear?
Sink that bitch. Turn it into fucking firewood. Who cares?
Yeah. Which, you know, like I'm actually more okay. Can we go back to this type of sailing?
Yeah. Like I'd be down. Could you imagine crossing the Atlantic in that thing though? Like I was in the Pacific, and I know how bad the waters were, but I can assume fucking Atlantic is just bad, if not worse, especially with the Gulf Stream that is now dying.
I crossed the Atlantic, but I was just sailed around the Pacific, but never crossed the Pacific. You know, like, and yeah, I mean, it sucked. It sucked ass. Like and that's just like, especially now, like knowing just about like, oh, cruise ships are actually fucking terrible, you know. But before, like, I knew that, as soon as I got off like ship, I was like, I will never spend more than like, you know, an hour on a fucking boat again. Like, can't do it.
Yeah, this is where like I would go on a cruise like in Alaska. I've always wanted to do the Alaska cruise. I've always wanted to go up like from Vancouver up to Alaska. But like that's about it. I don't even like the ocean. People are like, you live in San Diego, why don't you go to the beach? And I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I spent way too much time on the water and like next to the ocean.
We gotta move on, because right now I'm thinking of just like my mental state at sea for like months, and it's like maddening. You're like going weeks And it's like you look all around you, it's like all you see is water. Because there was like sometimes like, oh, we were like waiting to support an operation, and we were just like doing circles out in the middle of like literally in the middle of the ocean. And it's like, and you never like you don't see land at all. Like you don't know where anything is. You could be anywhere. They're telling you, oh, this is where we are in the world. How do I know that? How does anyone know that?
It's easy. I mean, I was comms guy, so like I know exactly how we would
yeah,
do all
well,
that.
I wasn't allowed in any of the rooms where it's like, oh yeah, this is how we know where we are. It's fine. Like, no. I was allowed in the chow hall. I was allowed in the gym.
But only during green hours, remember that. So if y'all are new here and you don't know our backgrounds, right? There's 4 of us. We're left flank vets, right? We're all vets. I was in the Navy. I was on an amphibious ship. It's an LPD, right? Landing Patrol Dock. It is a Marine taxi. Marcus here was a Marine who was on a Marine taxi, right? Yeah. There's this separation there. Like I was a crew of part of 350 people, sailors, on a ship that holds up to 1,200. When we deploy, we go up to fucking Pendleton and pick up like 1,100 Marines and all their fucking equipment. And they come on board and everything breaks. Everything fucking breaks as soon as the Marines come on. And like, man, just so we had to do like blue and green hours. So green hours for the gym for the Marines and blue hours for the Navy. Man, so yeah, we probably have stories that are very similar in this sense. But Bonhomme Richard is part of that amphibious Navy. So the Bonhomme Richard takes a shit ton of Marines with like about half. It's like 1 out of 3. It's three Marines to every 1 sailor on these ships. And it's like,
well, this seems nice too, because this is like a 2-rack, a double rack. But in the Marine berthing, it's 3. Like it's 3. So basically, these are beds behind him. This is where people sleep.
They're 3 up and down. Well, in this case, there's 2, but usually there's 3.
Yeah. So the ship that I was on, it was 3. So it's like it's not even like you can't sit up. You can barely you can't half a crunch. Like you literally like slide into your coffin. Like you just call it a coffin rack. that shit sucked ass. But yeah, and I do want to River and Ravens with the better headline. Undesignated seaman gets in aft hole, causes Bonnie Dick fire.
Yes. Look at the Instagram though. It says, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." I bet you do.
Yeah, right.
You just you just incriminated yourself, bud.
But I mean, it's from a movie, so come on. I
know. A great movie, by the way. Apocalypse Now, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes on. It's like back between like the cops and him saying he didn't do it. The cops are like, oh well, he admitted to it, just not when the recording was on, you know. And it was like, I don't know. There's some shit that was like, yeah. Either way, we'll see. But yeah, that's one less
like
Navy ship.
guilty on it. Yeah, one less Navy ship doing the